Well, hello there, everybody. 18 chickens in the back of a truck with some bushes. This was the last load from the house, and we grabbed a few potted things we had left in the garden and threw a bunch of chickens in here. So they are temporarily hanging out in my truck. We just got back from the old house, and so now it is time to build them a home. Now, this will not be a permanent home for them. We've got a good plan for a really nice chicken coop that will hold all of these chickens well. What we have is kind of a temporary solution, but we're in a pinch. We're in a time crunch, so we got to make this happen. It's Thanksgiving today, and we've got these chickens in the back of my truck, and they can't live there for very long, so we need to get them into a place that's secure and safe. So we bought a few off-the-shelf chicken coops from Family Farm and Home, and so we're going to take a look at these. They're not very big, but they're going to have to work. So we got 2 of them in order to accommodate the 18 chickens we have. We're going to separate them out. We've got a lot of baby chicks too, so they don't take up as much space, so they can kind of cram into a smaller one a little better. Today's project, building the Cheyenne wood coop. It is a little coop. It's got a space underneath and a little run. It's very similar to the suburban chicken coop that I built and that I have plans for. If you haven't seen that, you can check out our website, SSLFamilyFarm.com. And there's free plans for the coop that we built a few years ago. But this is a very similar design as that, but it's just a lot smaller. And it also is cheaper. And so I know these are built out of real thin wood. I know that they're not quite as sturdy as the one that we built before, but I think they're going to work out just fine. It has some type of a clean out tray, very similar to what we built with the suburban coop. Nesting box. It looks very similar to a small version of the coop that we built. And so we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's got a sliding door, so it should be pretty cool. So we're gonna put these together. Like I said, I've got 2 of them. They each come in 2 boxes. So there's a big box and a little box. There's a attached run in the coop, and so we'll see how it goes. So whenever I'm doing projects like this, building these things, this is not exactly 2x4s. It's really thin wood, and so there's a couple tricks. Number one, you have a clutch on your screw gun or drill that you can set. Right now it's on the drill position. I'm going to set this to actually, it'll stop, so I'm not over stripping or stripping out the wood screws. These are all Phillips head screws. I also have this bit. I don't know if you can see this. I'll show this a close-up of this after, but this is a DeWalt bit. It's got a magnet head right on it, and then the Phillips bit fits right inside of it. And so this always holds your screw straight, so you don't need 2 hands. You put your screw on there, it'll hold it magnetically to the bit, and you can then aim it and screw it in that way. I also have this bit. I've used this for years. It's always important to have a good number 2 Phillips bit. I think this is a number 2 size. And this has a sleeve on it, so this sleeve will also slide up. You put your bit in there, this will slide up and hold the screw in there. It'll hold it for you, so again, you can use one hand if this one's not working. But either one of these, you can get these. I'll put a link to these on Amazon. Super helpful little tools when you're putting something together like this quickly. So we'll get all our parts out. I'll show you the instructions here. They're pretty vague, but that's fine. I don't like following instructions anyway, so it gives you a general idea of how it goes together, tells me what screws to use where, and that's all we need to know. So let's get this put together. So this is actually a really neat design on the nesting box lid. There's this little track here that's got shingles on it, and the shingles, I'm assuming, go all the way underneath this piece of trim. And this actually this fits underneath here, so that anything that drips back down behind here is either going to run underneath that trim or run off to the sides, but it won't get inside the coop. Normally, if you have a door that comes right up to here, you've got a gap back here that you have to cover somehow. Now, I did a piece of plastic that covered mine when I built the Suburban coop, but this is actually a better design, so something to think about in the future. Now this is just going to get screwed in there, and then we'll have a working chicken coop. So this is the instructions that I was looking at. There's no words, which I actually don't mind. The only thing that I don't like about these is that it's really hard to see some of the screw placements. You know, it's really dark in there, but it went together really easily, actually. I referenced which screws, you know, to use for which step mostly, but it was pretty easy to figure out. You got a little something in your beard there. We have 2 of these to kind of nestle out here by the goat pastures. This will be like a little village of chicken coops. And you know what? I like this thing. It looks pretty nice, and it looks like it's gonna function pretty well. So there's the clean out tray down below, just like our Suburban coop. So we'll fill that with wood shavings. This is probably gonna need to get replaced. This is super cheap. This is a really cheap little bolt lock, but this opens up, and then you've got 2 little roosts there. It's kind of odd. It seems like the roost should have been somewhere else, but I guess there's nowhere else to put them. So the chickens will actually kind of hop over the roost to get out the door, which is totally fine. It does have a window here with no cover on it. I may put a little flap over this for the winter time. You don't want snow and stuff blowing in there, so we can close it at nighttime and then open it up during the day. There's plenty of gaps and cracks and things like that for, I think, humidity and that to get out. And it has this really neat sliding door. It's actually a cool design. It's got a little hinge here, point in this rod, and then this just slides through, which closes the door. And I'll have to invent some kind of a lock for that, make sure nothing can get in there and open it. We'll have to put some kind of a latch on there. The raccoons they'll find a way to open things. And then you just have this little door here that opens, and you can let them out so they can free range. So this is not a coop that's really big enough for, we're gonna have 8 chickens in each coop. One of them will have 10 with the baby chicks, and then one of them will have 8. So this is really a coop for probably 6 chickens. And you really would never want to keep them locked in this little run for very long. It'll get really messy in there pretty quick. It's just too small of an area. So we'll, of course, let them free range. We'll be able to come out and open this up every day, and they can come out in free range, and then they'll go back in here for security at night. That's really the main thing with these chicken coops, is make sure they're secure at nighttime. All that's left is to get some chickens in here. And this is the finished product with both of them set up out here in the woods next to the goats. And they're definitely too small for how many chickens we have, but they're gonna get us through this time. And we'll let them, once they get accustomed to their new little homes, we'll open these doors every morning and let them free range around. They love scratching through leaves. Even in the winter months, there's a lot of nutrients and little bugs and other things underneath the leaves, and they'll find all that food, and it's great for them. So we have all the babies in here. There's 9 babies and then the mama, so there's actually 10 in this coop. Yep, there she is. So 3 nesting boxes, and you know, the coop itself can easily fit 6 chickens in here at nighttime. The more you can fit in a smaller space for overnights in the winter months, the better. I don't really like the roosts in here. They're just way too low, but it'll work for now, and keep them warm. So the window being open, I'm just not sure about that. I mean, one of the things you want to watch out for in the winter time is too much humidity buildup in the coop. So I may want to leave this open a little bit, but I might want to put a flap over it and just keep a gap at the bottom underneath it for air to come in. I think this is too much cold air and snow can blow in there and then get wet, so we might have to remedy that. And then the other one nestled over here, and most of the chickens, it looks like, are inside, and when I put them in there, the bigger ones, they already broke they already broke that. And I'm gonna have to put some bigger screws through that and get that fixed. It was sitting on a rock down here, and it was only one corner was on the rock, and so when all their weight got on it, it twisted it and popped those tiny little screws out. So this the coop itself is, you know, it's fine, it's sturdy, but it's thin wood. This is all little tiny, you know, 1x1s, and they're very well designed, but they're, you know, cheap materials. So this isn't going to be a coop that lasts more than probably 5 years before it starts falling apart. I will put some bricks underneath to keep the bottom pieces off the ground, because those will rot out pretty quick. As far as security goes, we'll definitely need to make a secure latch for this other than the stick. This little bolt lock I'm going to replace with a better one that locks in here a little bit better. This one's just super flimsy. Raccoon could probably get that wiggled open. But remember, coop security is not about the chicken run. Predators can certainly get underneath this, dig underneath it, whatever. That's totally fine. The coop security, the security for the chickens happens inside the coop, and it's just overnight. I'm not worried about predators during the day. Out of the way, chicken. I definitely may have to make some kind of a locking mechanism here and keep this from being opened at nighttime. If a raccoon got in here and messed with this, it could certainly open enough for them to get in there somehow. Definitely gonna work for now. We'll make some paths through here with rocks and other things, and I've got some gates to finish with the goats and other projects to do around here, but the place is coming together for the animals with what we have for now anyway, and it looks like we've got lots more room to expand, more pastures, and we'll build a real chicken coop here once we get through the winter. So this is the first time that I've bought an off-the-shelf chicken coop. I said I would never do it because you know, you spend a lot of money on these things, and they're not going to last very long. You know, it's like building with twigs. Versus the suburban coop and the chicken coops that I've built in the past, you know, with 2x4 lumber, and you just build them with treated lumber, and you build things, and you stain it, and you seal it, and you build it really well, and it'll last for, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 years even, and it gives a lot more room for the chickens. So we're going to build something proper. This is certainly not a proper chicken setup for this many chickens. But we just moved in, and what do we have to do? We got to have somewhere to keep them, and I only have so much time. So pretty cool little coops. I'll put a link in the description to the coops. I have a similar one, I think, on Amazon, and then I'll put a link to these on Family Farm and Home. So don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the off-the-shelf chicken coop builds today. Let me know what you guys think, and of course, if this is your first time to the SSL Family Dad channel, let me have you tag along. We're starting a new adventure here on this new woodland homestead, and lots more homesteading things to come, so I'd love to have you join us, hit subscribe, and follow along. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.